superb owl. A Super Bowl.
What was that?
A Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, American handball.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I refuse to call it football.
Yeah.
There's only one type of football.
What's that?
It's English football, isn't it? European football.
Yeah.
World football.
European football.
Yeah, world football, the one that everyone calls football, but then we all got forced to call it soccer because the Americans already had football, even though they barely use their feet in the game. And it's just a wussy version of rugby, played with big armoured pads, and they stop the game every time there's a bit of a nasty tackle. Is that the one? That's the one. That's Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who started calling it soccer?
The Yanks.
Did they?
The Americans, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about the Super Bowl, and Ben felt like the rant should be on the podcast.
I think it should. I thought it was fluid and well thought out.
Yeah. I think that, I mean, I'm not a massive fan of it, but I think it's probably better than football.
Oh, fuck off.
As in Europe.
There's not many times I've ever told you to fuck off. Fuck
As in
fuck
Europe.
off. I'm sorry, no. No, there's no comparison.
European football
There's
or
no,
soccer.
World football.
Soccer.
No, it's not. It's never soccer. Fuck. No, I'm sorry. The World Cup, we have a legitimate World Cup. We invite countries from all around the globe to play it. The Americans have a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And fucking two teams, they're world champions. Only the Americans will bloody play it.
Why do they call it a Super Bowl?
Because you have to have the world championships of everything, don't they? It's their national psyche.
They play it in a bowl.
Some arenas are called a bowl in America, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I seem to know a lot about it for someone that's not a fan.
Yeah, it's seeped into my consciousness through like American shows.
Yeah. You love it, really.
Even like Sunny in Philadelphia, there's one episode later on. They're at the Super Bowl. The Philadelphia Eagles are in it. I know very little.
He has to go as Green Man, doesn't he? Otherwise, he don't win.
But he didn't. He got stuck in the bar, and cricket took his costume.
Yeah.
And he got his leg caught in a bear trap.
That's a good episode.
That is a very good episode, actually. But today, anyway, hello, welcome to Devil's Advocate.
We should probably do the intro.
Hello, welcome to Devil's Advocate. I'm Ben. I'm joined by Sean, as always.
Hello.
And today we're going to do sort of a Death 2.0 or the Afterlife.
Yeah, we'll call it something like Death 2.0 or Afterlife or Death and Afterlife.
Yeah, something like that.
To be determined at a later date.
Yeah.
When I've done the editing and found a picture that looks like similar to the one we did the first time we did this, but different.
Well, what about the angel, the death bloke with angel wings?
Yeah.
That could work.
I don't draw them.
I know, yeah.
I have to find them.
Yeah, you could probably find something like that.
I could just put an angel on there.
Yeah, that'll work.
We had a Grim Reaper last time.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
This is the afterlife. This is after you're dead, so yeah, it fits.
You know what I thought was funny about this?
What?
It's like it's been like a year since we lived together.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, we should do a podcast to commemorate it. Let's do Death. Let's do Death again. Let's do Death 2.0.
Yeah!
It's the first podcast we did. Let's do it again and do it better.
Yeah! No, because we go into the afterlife.
I don't know what that says about our friendship.
By always expecting you to die, it becomes stronger.
Aww.
There you go. That's my philosophy for the evening.
And that's why we're going to talk about death.
And that's why I've become a Buddhist tonight.
Yeah.
No, not really. So, all right, let's just quickly run through a few of the places you might expect to go if you
Die.
If you die. These are the more popular ones.
Can you still go there if you're alive?
Not unless you're on some really mad hallucinogenic trip.
Maybe
or a near-death experience, which we'll talk about later.
Let's try the first one first.
That's the Iron Oscar. That shit. You have to go to the rainforest to meet a witch doctor.
Yeah.
And you have to like prepare yourself, and then he makes this brew that you don't know what's in it.
Yeah.
You drink it, and it apparently just blows your fucking perspective on everything.
That does sound awesome.
Yeah. I don't want to be tripping my balls off, or the spiders the size of my legs scuttling around.
That's like what he drinks in Assassin's Creed, isn't it? In Valhalla, and he starts tripping that much balls, he thinks he's Odin.
Yeah, he's drinking the.
He's like running through Asgard.
He's drinking the Viking version of that. Yeah.
He's like running through Asgard, like I'm Odin. He's probably just in the woods, naked, screaming, "I'm Odin."
Yeah, he's only had sex with a bear. Yeah. He's only raped a bear. Because he just thinks he's Odin. He's actually gored up to fuck.
And everyone's like, oh Ivor thinks he's Odin again.
Oh, not again.
Who let him go speak to the witch doctor again?
Well, all right. Let's start with heaven.
Okay. The generic one.
The generic one. The Christian heaven, the Jewish heaven. To an extent, the Muslim heaven, they call it something different.
What about the Mormon heaven?
Think it's the same.
Yeah.
I think you got to sort it out into the big three for Western civilization and Middle Eastern, haven't you?
Yeah, it's just
Even though there's the offshoots, you've just got to lump it all in for.
It's Christianity, basically.
Yeah. Heaven, which I think would be boring.
Yeah, it would be.
Because it's for the meek, isn't it? Heaven.
It's for the well-behaved, isn't it?
It's for the well-behaved, and the meek should inherit the earth. All the bad people go away, and all the nice, gentle, polite people survive. That would be a nightmare.
Yeah, it would.
All right, imagine you sat there down the end of the table, all right, waiting for your food, and they're giving it to everyone else first, and that's meant to be okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that pissed me off.
You're like, I'm hungry, man.
I'm fucking hungry now.
Yeah.
And this is why I go to hell.
Well, I don't know whether or not it would be just the meek. I mean, heaven. The idea of heaven, at least the biblical side of it, has always confused me because it's like you only get in if you do as you're told, or if you behave, but then you're just doing it to get into heaven. So it's almost like you're being selfish. Then you're planning to get in.
I know what you're saying.
You're not being genuine, are you?
I'm behaving myself specifically to get to this place.
Yeah.
If not, I'd probably just be out raping and killing every night.
Yeah, it's like
because that's what I really want to do. But I'm just holding myself in check. You've
got a confession there for if he does that in the future. It's on tape.
That's not me personally. I wasn't quite over. It was like
the cop knocks on the door. He's like, "Yeah, we're looking for a bald guy. Looks like he's in his 50s."
That's definitely not me.
I'm like, damn, it's Ben.
How could it be me?
I think he's upstairs watching porn.
Yeah, probably that's where I am in all fairness. Yeah. Anyway.
I completely knocked your train of thought, then, didn't I?
You did. I completely lost.
Derailed it.
So we've got heaven. Also known as the 7 heavens amongst some Christians. Or the Pure Lands.
Like 7 minutes in heaven.
No.
That's a bit different.
Yeah, I remember that game being very different.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah, I bet you were pretty bored for 6 of those 7 minutes, weren't you?
6.5. Didn't take me long back in the day. First boob I saw is in the darkness. It's amazing. You got Tian in Taoism. Yana in Islam. I think that's how you say it.
Yeah.
Valhalla, obviously in your Norse mythology. That's broken down actually. Valhalla.
Yeah.
You all think Valhalla is only Odin's hall?
Yeah.
That's where you go if you're the chosen one.
Yeah.
If you're just like another dude who like maybe doesn't do so well in battle but still manages to die with his sword in his hand, you go to the Folkvang, which is Freya's house. So you just hang out with Freya instead of Odin.
Yeah.
Of course, if you're really shit and you're just genuinely a bad guy, then you've got Hell and Niflhel. Niflhel being worse.
I thought it was Niflhel.
I could be doing the pronunciation wrong.
That's the one with the ice giants, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit of a shithole.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where you went.
That's kind of like purgatory, I think.
Yeah, well,
you don't want to get stuck there, basically.
Yeah, that's another thing. Is like, I mean, that just means just dying without a weapon in your hand, can't you?
Yeah.
But also, if you're a twat, you go there and you don't get. That's it.
Yeah.
Islamic Yana is heaven and Yahanam is hell. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that
completely wrong.
Possibly. So then we can go back. Where are we? Hinduism. The Svaga Loa, I think is pronounced. And the Summerlands, which is pagan. Then of course you've got reincarnation. Right, that's
Buddhism
and Hinduism. So I said it's ingrained in us, isn't it?
Yeah.
This idea that
a belief.
If I'm a decent person in this life,
you'll be rewarded.
I'll be rewarded.
Way. Yeah. My problem with that though is like let's talk about Christianity for a minute. Is if you get into heaven, not just like how I said, it's almost like if you're naughty as a kid and your parents like if you don't behave, you're not getting McDonald's for dinner tonight. That sort of reward system thing, and that's what basically heaven's like. If you don't behave, you're not getting in. But that's not my only problem with it. My other bigger issue is we decide what good and evil is based on our society and our laws, and that's different in every culture and in every country.
Yeah, but most of our laws come from
Yeah.
whatever holy book is
Yeah,
in
yeah.
fashion at the time, doesn't
Yeah.
it? So in Saudi Arabia, they tend to be a bit stricter on the order. What's the Islamic law? I come up with Shia law.
Shia law, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
they're more strict on that. They
Yeah.
go by that, and the Western societies tend to go by
Yeah,
the Romanic Greco system of justice.
yeah. But what if what we think is good and evil, what we class as good and evil, isn't what God actually classes as good and evil, and actually,
Well, he could have been completely misquoted.
yeah, that's what I mean. So you could go up to heaven and be like, oh yeah, I'm getting in, I'm gonna be with all the greats, and then you get there and you're like, why the hell's that guy in heaven?
Yeah.
He was a dick.
Yeah.
You got like Stalin up there.
Yeah.
You're like, how did he make it up there?
I said, yeah, and God's just like, well, I never said nothing about not committing genocide.
Yeah.
I think you'll find I was quite genocidey in the first,
Exactly.
in the Old Testament.
Yeah, so maybe,
actually, me and Satan were kind of pushing it really for who could kill more people.
Yeah, so maybe it's like his definition of what good and evil is different to what I mean, like Hitler and Stalin are great examples of men that were able to make other men commit great acts of evil, but how much evil did they really enact themselves personally?
Well, that's it. I mean, by the time orders have come down, no, I'm not going to go down that route.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go down that route. No.
The route of the military line.
No, I'm not going to go down that route at all.
It's a rabbit hole.
I'm just going to say he was an evil bastard, but that evil got even more expanded by the people on the ground doing it.
Yeah, it passes on.
The fact that you're saying that this is okay
to
get these people together and kill them in the first place and take all that shit, then just leads on to greater evil, because the guards know they're going to kill him anyway. So well, what's it matter if I shoot this dude in the face right now? What's it matter if I beat this woman up? What's it matter if I rape this? It doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah.
Because Hitler said this is okay.
Yeah, that's my issue with it. It's like
they had a state religion which was believer in God.
Yeah.
The Nazis weren't atheists. They were
religious.
Their state religion was believer in God.
Yeah.
They had Gott mit uns on their belt buckles. God is with us.
Yeah. So my sort of thing is like, did he think he committed acts of evil, or did he think that maybe his men had committed acts of evil and he was just pointing them in the direction? So it's almost like he didn't pull the trigger, so to speak. So is he exempt from the evil sort of thing? If that's even evil, really?
Yeah. This is a major, obviously, loophole, isn't it?
Yeah.
And of course the whole redemption thing.
Yeah, because back when the Bible was probably first written, if you bashed in someone's skull, I mean, that's pretty evil. we can see you've done
murder.
that. Yeah, but when you get to the point where you can control hundreds and thousands of people, and you'd be like, right, I want you guys to destroy that entire country, and I'm just going to sit here on a throne and do nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, is he evil?
But does the book stop with you for ordering it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my my sort of train of thought is he responsible for the actions of other men?
I suppose he's giving them license to act how they want, and if you allow the most cruel people into those positions, because you're not going to send your good guys out to do that, are you?
Yeah. Or to flip it,
flip it.
Are they responsible for their actions because of he ordered it?
But they can always say, I was following orders. That was the Nuremberg defense.
That's what I mean.
I was just following orders. If I didn't do it, they'd kill me. Yes, but but if enough of you had said, no, we're going to do that.
Yeah, but that's my argument for flipping it, is like, would they go to heaven because they're like, well, I felt really bad. I didn't want to kill those innocent people, but what was my choice? If I said no, they would have murdered my entire family.
But then what if they're Catholics and they go to see the priest before their execution? They say, what's your last request? I want to see a priest. And they absolve them of sin. They go to heaven.
Yeah.
Technically. How does that work?
I know, yeah.
I mean, fuck me. What a get-out clause.
I know, yeah.
Hell must be fucking empty.
Yeah, at what point do those sins stop with the person that commits them, or is it the person that creates them, the person that commits them? And at what point can you just say sorry and absolve them?
That's it, isn't it?
It's a lot of loopholes when you start breaking it down.
There is in Christianity. I mean, obviously we're not experts on the other religious sides of things, so we're not going to jump too much into that.
The reason why we spoke about Christianity a lot last time, and I mean, It's not like we're bashing it. We're just not Christians ourselves. So
And
obviously,
we live in a, well, it's the religion we were brought up with, isn't
yeah,
it?
that's
So
what I
we're
was
more
going to say.
familiar
Yeah,
with
we
it.
spent a few years at school learning other religions, but mostly Christianity.
I went to a Church of England school. I
Yeah.
did the Lord's Prayer every day. It was terrible.
Yeah, so I would have
Still know it.
I would have learned other religions and religious studies, but Christianity was the main focal point sort of thing. So that's the one we're most knowledgeable on.
So I prefer the Egyptian fucking way of doing it in terms of this. Like, they consult the Book of the Dead, which is a pretty fucking metal name. Let's face it.
Yeah.
Right? They mummify you, do all that
That
stuff.
sounds like an album, The Book of the Dead.
I think it is. I think it is an Iron Maiden album.
Is it really?
I think it is. And then when you go to the afterlife, you meet one of the gods who weighs your heart against a feather,
Yeah.
and they go, "Well, sorry, you're a bit of a shitter."
Pretty much nobody goes to heaven in that scenario.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, you're actually a bit of a twat.
Yeah.
Your good deeds your bad deeds outweigh this feather. Off you trot down to the underworld. See you later.
Yeah.
On the plus side, I suppose they could turn up with a gold and bribe him.
Yeah.
That's why they buried him with the gold, isn't it? They're bribing.
Yeah. Problem with gold.
Yeah.
So funny how the rich always seem to get to heaven easier.
Yeah.
It's like
It is.
well, when we talk about like the Romans when they died,
Yeah,
the coin thing.
The
So
Romans and the Greeks, they
and
built
the
the
Greeks,
Hades.
yeah.
And the coin thing, I like that idea.
But it's like if you're
I stuck a quid in my nan's casket.
yeah, but it's like if you're
And she went to see her.
yeah,
Stuck a quid in there.
so she could pay the ferryman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone probably nicked it.
I don't think they nicked a pound from
I bet
the whole
someone would have found it and nicked it.
You know what? There's a flaw in your theory though.
Yeah.
It's a different pound now, isn't it? Probably. They changed the pound coin, didn't they?
Well, it's
Couple
the only
years ago.
gold coin I can get hold of, isn't it?
It's not gold, is it?
I know it's not, but it's classed as, isn't it? It's meant to
The
be.
ferryman will be like, "This is out of date," and just throws it.
Yeah, she's like, oh, fuck's sake.
Yeah. You not got the new one, no?
I mean, Nan probably goes hit him, to be fair,
Yeah.
until and probably taken the boat.
Yeah. Just rip him out of the
I mean,
boat.
she was a timid lady, but my God, you get her pissed off. Oh,
Yeah.
rage.
Rip him out of the boat.
She'd have probably went at the boat, smacked him around the head with the paddle,
Chuck him in the water, and all
Stole
the
the
souls
boat.
just drag him down.
stole the boat.
This is my boat now.
I can see it. What about ghosts and demons? What do they come in this thing? Ghosts. Ghosts, like, I'm going to consult Tobin's spirit guide.
I was waiting. I saw that on the sign. I was waiting to see how long it was before you brought up ghosts.
What about a class 6 corporal anchored to a location? What about a
what is a class 4?
Well, class 5 is a full roaming vapor, much like Slimer.
Oh, okay.
So that's a class 5. He's
Yeah.
a class 5. A class 4 is a class 4 is a very powerful ghost, brought about by suicide, usually
Oh, okay.
mass suicide.
Yeah.
Mass
suicide.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
Ben's a big fan of Ghostbusters.
Or you can have
if you're
a
wondering.
class 4 non-corporal elemental spirits who are anchored to locations as well. So
Yeah.
they're just pure ectoplasm.
For anyone that doesn't know, this is from Ghostbusters.
Some Tobin spirit guide.
Yeah.
Right, okay, that's all the ghosts I'm going to do for a moment. Well,
For now.
For now.
You'll have to consult it again
I'm
later.
sure I will. That's why it's there.
Yeah.
It's much like I own the zombie survival guide.
Yeah. it's
Now we
okay.
have protection against the undead and the dead. Hey?
Yeah.
Hey?
What
You
about
buying that?
what about protection from the living?
I've got that kendo stick under the sofa and loads of knives in the kitchen.
That's it.
Yeah,
We need like a bat.
a Batman.
A bat would be good for zombies anyway.
It would actually.
It's like weapon of choice.
Crowbar.
Not very good on ghosts though.
Nah, zombies would break. It wouldn't last.
What, the bat?
Yeah.
You wouldn't need it to last long, just until you get some better weapons.
No, I want the crowbar straight away, isn't it?
Crowbar.
Yeah, because it's a stabbing weapon for going down the stairs.
Yeah, but what happens if it gets stuck
It won't get stuck. It's a piece of solid metal going into eye sockets.
into eyesight? That's providing you got a good aim.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
That'll be fine. Knowing you'll fall and
I'm
impale.
unusually focused.
You'll fall down the stairs and impale yourself with this large metal.
Well, either way, it's either a quick death now or a slow death later, whatever.
No, it'll probably impale you in the shoulder or something. You'll get stuck and the zombies will slowly eat you.
Yeah, but then I'll just be punching them. Ah! Anyway, moving on from that, well, I want to throw some questions to you.
Some questions to me.
Yeah. A life and death cycle.
Mhm.
Is that all the human brain can imagine?
It in what way do you mean?
Well, all our thing is we're born, we live, we die.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to the death part, that's why we have to imagine a rebirth into a spiritual realm as such.
Yeah.
So is that because we can't imagine anything else? We can't actually imagine the prospect of being dead. We can't imagine there being nothing, and nothing.
Yeah.
The word itself has two roots, doesn't it? No thing.
Yeah.
No thing. I.e., there's a thing, but there isn't a thing.
Yeah.
There's a thing, but there's no thing. It's nothing.
Yeah. I guess I see where you're going with it, because in our sort of infinite knowledge of science as we're at now, is we literally think that one thing is a thing, it then has to be always something. So say if you get a piece of paper, you burn it, it becomes ash, it always turns into something else. So even though we know when we die our bodies decompose and stuff, because we've done tons of studies on that, we eventually become just a skeletal system, and then bones, and then dust, and then I guess we become one with soil, I guess.
Yeah, we go back to Mother Gaia, man.
Yeah. Ben the hippie, the resident hippie. So, but as for sort of intellect, or for argument's sake, we'll say soul. I know you're not really sold on that. But
sold on the soul.
Sold on the soul.
I got soul, but I'm not a soldier.
But for argument's sake, we'll call it that. That sort of thing that makes us us. Yeah. We can't imagine that just switching off.
That's it.
The light just out. Yeah. Because in our mind, everything becomes something else. You have a tree, you set it on fire, it becomes fire, and then becomes ash. It's
gone.
Yeah.
It's dust. All we are is dust in the wind.
All of my stories are
take it, John. Ding, 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 ding.
All of my stories end with burning things.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
You're like, is he a pyromaniac?
Or is he a serial killer?
Or both.
Or both.
But yeah, we can't really fathom.
There's been a lot of flat fires around this area recently.
You're like, where were you a couple of days ago?
Yeah. Why did you come back smelling of smoke with your face all blackened?
Oh, no.
Good enough for me.
You're like, okay.
Carry on as normal.
That checks out.
That checks out.
Yeah. But yeah, we can't really comprehend the being nothing. It just being.
That's it. We can't comprehend it.
Yeah. I said something that really, really scared you the other day. You probably don't remember it because I think you were a little bit drunk. But I said, what happens if there is nothing, but we can comprehend it?
I remember that.
And you were like, wow, that's really fucking grim.
It is. It's like, because you're in then.
You're still conscious, but because none of your senses work, you're just conscious that there's nothing.
It's like you're blind, deaf, mute.
Yeah.
You can't. You had your arms and legs cut off.
Yeah.
You're like the dude from the Metallica song One.
Yeah.
The landmine took his senses and arms and legs. He's just lying there, like tapping out SOS with his stump.
that idea did depress you, didn't it?
Yeah, because I'd be literally saying, I'd be screaming at them in my head, shoot me in the fucking head, you bastards! Stop keeping me alive.
But you're not alive, you're dead.
But that's it. So you'd be like, that's purgatory, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what I was going to mention that earlier. Catholic purgatory. The Pope said something. He wasn't down for purgatory anymore.
Yeah.
They're like unbaptized babies went to purgatory, and then the Pope.
Yeah, that's not cool, man.
Then the Pope said, no, they're in heaven now.
Yeah, that's not cool. Yeah. This is the thing, though. If there's no God, there's no creator. But if we can't comprehend death, and if you say that something has to stay or become something else, then maybe we do just continue to exist, but without a form.
I don't know.
It's almost like if there's no sort of plan, there's no sort of creator. I mean, we've just randomly been unfortunately created. Maybe there's just nothing for us to do afterwards. So we're just there, but not there.
So in that respect, is death unacceptable to us?
Yeah.
It's
almost like we
this is not this void that we've got. So is that where religion comes rushing into us?
Yeah.
Like, hey, you know what? I was really sorry that your son died so young, so tragically young, and no parent should ever see their child die. It's a tragic thing, but don't worry because
they go to heaven.
They're in heaven now. They're playing with the other kids. Oh, they have a great time, and you'll see them. And it's like really like, oh God. Oh, don't go down that route. For me personally, it's like, oh, don't go down that route.
Yeah.
Oh, don't do that. And then it's like the same because you need to face facts. They ain't coming back. They're not happy. And for me personally, but
sometimes though it gives people solace.
It gives people solace, and that's where religion can step in. and go, hey, it's consoling.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. You'll
Yeah.
see him again and having a great time waiting for you.
Yeah, because the idea of loss is for a lot of people, if they knew without 100% without a doubt that there's nothing, they're gone, that would be devastating
Well, at least,
for
yeah, but
people. So that's
Yeah.
going, well,
Yes.
one day you'll see them again because you're going to the same place they are, and that gives people hope as well.
and then does that means that we're not teaching people to grieve properly?
Possibly.
Which is another point I wrote down that I'm
Mhm.
feeling surprisingly proficient this
I
evening.
know you're doing really well with this,
Yeah.
with the research.
It's heavens. It's okay. You'll see him again.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh well, I don't need to really worry too much about it. Then I want to take a selfie with Granddad's corpse.
Fucking hell.
Hey, I'll show you this, Granddad, when I get to heaven.
Yeah.
And if that is the case, and we're so set on the idea that there is this afterlife and it's wonderful, then why aren't people jumping off cliffs?
Because they're not certain. Are
Exactly.
They? Yeah.
But this is what we're told to believe.
And also,
And it's like it's just a buffer for comfort.
And also, in a lot of religions, suicide sends you to hell.
Yeah, but you get a priest to absolve you on the way down in advance.
Absolve me.
Maybe you've got like you've recorded it and
Yeah.
you're playing it in your headphones as you go down. There's probably ways around it.
I think I get what you're saying, but I honestly think that the world and life is a very, very difficult thing, and it beats a lot of people down to the point where they struggle. They struggle every day. I mean, the depression gets higher every year.
A lot of people have killed themselves in the lockdowns.
Yeah, people are drinking more. You know, it's a hard,
Tell me about it.
It's a hard existence for a lot of people, and I think that if it gives them that solace, then give it them. I mean, when you say when you were a kid and you had a pet or something like a hamster or something and it died, your parents probably didn't tell you it died. They probably just said that it
ran away.
Yeah, it ran away or something. And yeah, that's a lie. And when you're older, you're a little bit annoyed because you're like, why didn't they just tell me? But at the same time, your little fragile kid brain just accepts it. Yeah. It's like, okay.
It's the easiest option.
Yeah. Oh no, the dogs have gone to the farm. You hear that one, and it's like, oh, okay. And it's almost like they're protecting your fragile brain from accepting the fact that you're never going to see that dog again because that would break your heart. And as an adult, it's almost like religion's there, and maybe it is true, but it's probably not. In my mind, it's probably not.
You must have heard the dog one, the rain. They're on the crossed over the Rainbow Bridge.
Yeah.
It's that power.
If there is a heaven, I hope there is, and it's just exclusively for dogs, and they just all get
infinite
balls and sweets.
I couldn't give two fucks on if I ever go to any afterlife, as long as the dogs have got one.
Yeah.
As long as they briefly let me see it.
Did you?
And I see all my old dogs, and then I go, and I'm like, oh, fucking sweet, and then they can push me into the pit of nothingness.
Yeah.
I'll go with that memory. Look at my boys.
You ever watch that kids film? All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Oh no!
I used to love that when I was. It's like it came out like early '90s or late '80s or something.
I know the movie.
Yeah, love that film.
I know the movie. I don't think I've ever seen it. I tend to steer clear of movies where dogs die.
Yeah, me too. I can't handle
Marley,
them.
Can't watch that.
Yeah, I can't handle them.
Can't watch that. Watched I Am Legend once. Can't watch that again.
Yeah, I can't watch that either.
Can't do stuff like that.
But yeah. To get back to my point,
but I don't care if 50 people get their hearts ripped out by John Wick.
No, yeah.
It doesn't concern me.
Yeah,
they're in a better place right now.
To get back to my point, though, is I think that if that, whether it's true or not, if the thought of it helps people get through their lives, then that's why I don't mind religion. That's why I know you're atheist and stuff, but the reason why I quite like it, and I would even encourage it with the people that are religious to lean into their faith, because if it gets them through the day, that's what it's all about. And also, I do wish there was a dog heaven, honestly. Yeah. Because I think if anyone deserves a heaven, it's dogs. They're like the closest thing to perfect. You seen that little meme where there's like a dog and he's got a collar on and it gets to heaven and God's like, oh, this one's going to be easy, and just flicks the collar up and it just becomes a halo. Yeah. And I'm like, that's a wholesome meme.
Yeah, it is. So, dog heaven aside.
Yeah.
100 billion people have lived on this planet before us, roughly.
Yeah.
And they've all died.
Yeah.
And not one of them's come back to tell us.
Except for Jesus.
Allegedly for Jesus. Allegedly.
Yeah.
But the afterlife, which is, let's face it, immortality, is also mega books.
Yeah.
People are selling selling a dream,
Yeah.
aren't they? Give me your
Definitely.
money, get immortality.
Yeah. A lot of churches and stuff taking donations.
Some places want 25% of your wages.
Oh yeah, some churches do, don't they? Some religions.
A tithe every month.
Yeah. Wow.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's my point. So maybe the afterlife is actually just a myth peddled by our rulers to create socio-economic inequality.
More wealth.
Yeah, keep giving the peasants this idea. So, hey, don't worry your life's shit now.
Yeah.
Because when you die, if you lived a good, loyal life, loyal to your good leaders and paid us your taxes and given us your crops, you'll go to heaven and you'll never have to do any of that back-breaking labor again.
Yeah.
It'll all be fine.
So basically, you're saying you think that religion was essentially created by the rich to kind of keep the dumb,
To keep the lower classes
the dumb
down.
and poor down.
Yes.
Keep them dumb, keep them poor.
Yeah.
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 No debate.
No. Just
just
wanted to know where your end point was.
Yeah, that's my end point.
Yeah.
Look, if you behave and you do what we say and you grow our crops and make our weapons and you don't moan when our Lord's son rapes your daughter,
Yeah.
you'll go to heaven.
Yeah.
Crack on.
No, I can't debate that. I do think that, to be fair. I think a lot of religion, even if it came from a good place. I mean, I've had this conversation with you a million times, and I always say any organization. This is when we talk about politics and stuff. Why I like go on rants about these organizations and stuff. Any organization that's around long enough, whether it be religion or anything like that, or movement or whatever you want to call it, eventually it turns corrupt.
Yeah.
And whether or not
I agree with
you
that.
argue that any of these religions that started pure, they all became corrupt. The second you gave them a hierarchy, leaders, corruption.
Yep.
Straight away. So I can't get behind any of these political movements, even if they started off as good ones, because they have leaders now.
Yeah.
And those leaders like being in charge. They like getting money. They like being paid. They like standing in front of TVs and stuff like that and on TV, not standing in front of a TV. But look, I'm standing in front of a TV. You can't watch. Listen to me.
I did that the other day.
Yeah.
You didn't pay any attention.
Yeah, listen to me. I won't move. You can't watch a show
Look at
until
my hat. You're wearing this like outlandish bowler hat with a bullock feather in it. A cape.
I'm like, dude, I'm trying to watch the show. I am the show now. Watch me dance interpretively.
Yes.
I like how we can't keep on topic for more than 3 minutes before we make jokes. It's because we're hilarious.
It is.
Well, I can't even remember what my point was now. Yeah.
So
I agree with you to a large
poor
extent.
down.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, it's like the slaves. You got the slaves in the Confederate States.
Yeah.
And they're sold Christianity. If you work really hard, you go to heaven.
Yeah.
And your colour won't be an issue. You'll be treated as an equal.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck it, then I'll work hard.
Yeah.
Because I've got nothing else to keep me going, have I?
Yeah. To be fair, I can't debate because to a large extent I agree with you, but I think that the organizations that run these religions are corrupt. Do I think that potentially there could still be a higher power? Yeah, maybe. Maybe if enough people believe it, they can make it come true.
Mm-hmm.
They believe that maybe there's a higher level to the human consciousness. I quite like the theory of how the universe is the god, and that we're just. I read this. You know that Facebook page, The Big Think. I think I've shared a few things. They say that the universe is like this sentient being, this kind of god, and it's basically Earth and humans and every other like alien life form and planets and stuff are just basically living out its consciousness.
Right.
So like we live in its imagination sort of thing. And I quite like that idea. I could prescribe to that. Is that a word? Yeah.
Subscribe. Yeah. Subscribe.
Yeah. Subscribe.
Subscribe.
Yeah. Subscribe to that.
So let's say that we go with there's an afterlife for us. Let's say we go with that. I mean, you've got sort of the big.
I don't think we're going to the same place.
Yeah, I'm going to hell.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
I'm going to like the high tier hell where we like pick on people like you.
Yeah, yes, you think.
I'm like
technically that wouldn't be the way around, mate. It'd be the lower tier ghouls picking on you.
No,
I'm sorry. That's not hell.
I'm highly efficient, so I think I'd be employee of the month.
No.
Or year.
No. Have you ever seen Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell?
No, you've asked me a few times to watch it.
It's a fantastic show. Hell is run like a business in that show, and you're the middle management, and they come up with new inventive ways of torturing people.
I'd be upper management though.
Only
I'd be
Satan's
delegating to you.
No.
I'm like, right. So you need to torture those 10 souls by the end of the day, and then once you're done with that, make sure you torture yourself for a good 2 hours, and then you can clock off.
Well, as long as I'm in some kind of
And
middle
then
management role.
the bosses will be like, guys, a genius. He's making them torture themselves. How does he do it?
Yeah, but you know full well I just be sat there smoking a split for 2 hours.
I come around the corner. Shit, you just stab yourself in the eye.
Ah! Knowing he's going to heal the next day. I'm a demon, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
You know, in this scenario. But let's see. So what religion do you pick? Because, I mean, if you're we live in England, therefore we're in the West, therefore, boom, Christianity 95 times out of 100 in terms of the population.
Yeah, there's other religions in this country.
There's loads, but I'm just saying that Christianity is allegedly the most prevalent.
The dominant one. Yeah.
But then again, if I lived in Saudi Arabia, then we'd all follow Islam.
Yeah.
If we lived in Israel, we'd follow Judaism. If we lived in India, we'd be Hindus. Which one's the right one? It can't just be geographic. These are all following.
Ben showing off his geographic skills. Can you point to them on a map?
Yes, I could if you gave me one. A map, that is. I know what your mind's like. Yeah, I'm just, which one's the right one? What if I spend my life being a Buddhist?
Yeah.
And then go, oh, actually, I get up there and they go, oh, are you a Buddhist?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, mate. Turns out that Islam was the way forward.
They do that.
Turns out Islam was the right path. Sorry.
They do that in one of the shows, don't they? Is it like Family Guy or South Park or
yes, I know.
You get Simpsons or something. You get, I think it's Simpsons. You get up to heaven and they're like, oh, you got it wrong, and they're like, well, which one was it? And they're like, Mormon. Like, damn.
That might have been Family Guy.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. Well, this is where me and religion kind of part ways. Is I think that all of the religions both get it wrong, and if you're saying for argument in our argument, our conversation right now, we're assuming that it's real. Yeah.
Yeah.
An afterlife of some sort.
Yeah.
I think they're all wrong and they're all right. So it's all just kind of that none of them really know. So they're
no one knows.
Yeah.
But these people are selling you that they know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You're paying. Let's say that you're in a church. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you. You're in a church, and you got some evangelists that they go, I know this is heaven. I saw it the other night in my dreams.
In my dreams.
Give generously. The more you give, the better it'll be for you in heaven.
Yeah.
It is going to cost you. It's going to cost you a lot.
Yeah. So yeah, this is what I was trying to say is that this is where I divert from it. Is they've all kind of got the same idea, sort of, so to speak. I mean, not every religion. Some religions, they have multiple gods and everything, but they all have a god or gods. Yeah. And they all have or most of them have their own form of afterlife and how you should live your life. Yeah. So they all have this set of rules, which I think is if you're, for argument's sake, saying that something does exist or something after does exist, then they've got that right. Is maybe you do, if there is a higher being or higher beings, then you do have to follow a set of rules and stuff, and you do have to behave, and you do have to be good, or you have to live your life in a certain way, or maybe even just like with Hercules and stuff, where like the gods are cruel. It's just a game and stuff. Maybe even that's it. I think that they don't know the details. They just know that there's something there, sort of thing, and that's why there is no right or wrong. So you can't say, oh, I'm right because I picked Christianity, or oh, I'm right because I picked Hinduism.
They both tell you to be decent people.
Yeah,
don't
they all.
Don't kill. Don't marry your sister.
Yeah.
Don't let your uncle fondle you in your sleep.
Why would you make him do? Okay, I've learned something new about Ben, man.
I think the uncle might be a priest.
Oh, okay. Was your uncle a priest?
No.
But show us on this dummy where he touched you, Ben.
That's a bottle of schnapps.
No, but yeah. My point is that they all have a similar set of rules, don't they? It's all kind of very similar. They just differ on the god. They differ on who's the main.
Well, if you look at the main
man or woman,
main three theistic religions in the world, it's like, what is it? It's like let's say the big three in the West: Judaism, Christianity, Islam.
Yeah,
they're all pretty much. I mean, the Muslims don't go with Jesus, with the prophet. Never mind, he was a prophet. Never mind the Son of God. He wasn't that.
Yeah,
it's Muhammad and Allah.
Yeah.
as Christians just go for, yeah, Jesus was great, he was the Son of God, and the Jews kind of just go for, hey, yeah, Jesus is a prophet, but we still believe in the same God.
Yeah.
And you could argue that, I don't know, it could be controversial and say that Allah is kind of the same dude as the other two are worshipping, and
Yeah.
if not, they probably know each other.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, my issue is with it is that they kind of do all follow the same rules.
Yeah.
You're gonna get people all over the world.
Just geographically, it's just similar. It's just a little bit changed.
Yeah, you're gonna get people all over the world that kind of skew what they think that the book means, and they use it for evil and bad deeds. You're gonna get that in any religion.
A lot of the time, though, that, innit?
Huh?
A lot of the time.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, yes and no. I mean, there's a lot of good people that have been religious that have done a lot of good things.
A lot more worse people, though.
No, they're just known more. They just remembered.
Yeah, because they killed more people.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yes and no. I mean, some religious people. I mean, a lot of the heroes, sort of, so to speak, if you want to call them heroes in history, they were religious. They just, the religion just wasn't the focal point.
Well, no, just never brought up with people who were more religious back in the day because science wasn't such a thing.
Yeah. Well, that could be the argument, but I mean, maybe they'd still be religious.
Well, I think the upper classes in this country are certainly educated.
Think about Abraham Lincoln. I mean, he believed in God, and I mean, the Americans, a lot of them still believe in God. A lot, like 80% of them. So he probably even now would still believe in God, even now, and he did a lot of good. So
I don't think the God they were worshipping then is the God they're worshipping now.
No, probably not.
I think they've created a new God of spite and envy and monetary gain, and its name is Gozer. It is a traveller, and I'm going to consult Tobin's Spirit Guide.
Oh, there he goes, brought it back.
And say that it is the
You were waiting for this, weren't you? The moment to bring the book back.
7 Gazarian form, like the Stay Push Marshmallow Man. That's what it's become. Eventually, it's going to form.
And it's going to be a Marshmallow Man.
Hopefully.
It'll be like the gods from Rick and Morty. Oh, it's not a real god, it's just Zeus. It's just one of those. It's one of those Zeuses.
Yes.
Yeah. But I just think that they've all got the same sort of thought process. It's just their writings, their history, their books are slightly different. Their beliefs are slightly different. The guy who they write about, or the woman they write about, or the gods they write about are slightly different. But they all have a similar, providing they don't use the book or the teachings for corrupt reasons. It's all kind of the same sort of rules.
Religious texts are political.
Yeah,
I mean, the Book of Revelation.
Yeah, well, this is the point I'm trying to.
Is pretty much a rant against the Emperor Nero, just laid out in some mad, I've taken a shit ton of mushrooms kind of style.
Well, this is the point I'm trying to make: is they were all written by men.
Don't you dare refer to it as her story. It's his story. No, I'm joking.
But yeah, it was all written by men, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, because I mean, let's face it, blokes have been in charge. We made a pretty, big mess of things, haven't we? In some respects, maybe we should give a few more women a go.
Whenever they say
not Hillary though.
Whenever they, yeah, I agree.
Not
with
Hillary.
That. I massively agree.
Not
with
Hillary that. Or the reanimated corpse of Margaret Thatcher.
Fucking hell. Or to be fair, any of the female politicians in charge of our country or America.
Theresa May was a mistake as well.
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
Michelle Obama's all right. I'll give her a go.
Yeah, you're a big fan of her.
Yeah, I find her quite hot.
I think her husband's done too many dodgy things, to be fair.
Well, it doesn't reflect on her vagina, though, does it?
I feel like she was the one running the show, to be fair.
Oh.
I can't imagine him saying, no, we're not doing that to her.
Yeah, I know.
Seems like she wore the trousers in that relationship. That's a bit of a sexist statement these days, isn't it? Wearing the trousers.
I suppose it is.
Yeah, people still use it all the time.
Maybe they need to stop.
Yeah. Look at us going all woke.
Look at us going PC.
Yeah.
So another question I've got.
Yeah. Did I answer your last question?
No, not really. I think we agreed that they've all got basic tenets and they all kind of cross over at some point.
They're written by men, but basically
manly men. Men in tights.
Oh no.
You remember Men in Tights?
Yeah, I do. I remember.
Love that movie.
Yeah, it was written by men. Like if it was written by God, like they said, it would be on this glimmering, shining statue or something, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be written on paper.
or stone.
Yeah. I mean, easy things to get a hold of. It'd be on this like It'd be like an indestructible tablet,
Is he
like
well,
shining
no,
and glowing.
I'm actually down now because for immortality purposes,
Yeah.
and I'll jump ahead a little bit.
I thought you had another question to ask me.
I have got another question,
Yeah.
but you've led me on to something. At the moment, I'm down for good old fashioned set in stone immortality.
What do you mean set in stone?
Like, I'm not too concerned there's an afterlife, but there's a statue of me that says
I
Ben Carter.
thought you meant like frozen in carbonite.
That too, maybe.
Like literally, you get caught and they just freeze you like this, and your hands are out, and your mouth's open, like
Yeah, but they've got like a chisel to do. Like, this is Ben Carter. He was ace.
He was ace, not something cool like he was a bandit or he was a gunslinger or something
Whatever.
like that.
I don't care as long as it's complimentary.
Yeah.
Then that's there forever, then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Until it's destroyed in a nuclear blast or the sun or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's there, isn't it? I mean, even if the world floods,
you're still there.
Still there.
Just floating around.
Just still there underwater.
Yeah.
Like
we're
Atlantis.
We're gonna nail you down, are we? Make sure you don't float away.
It's a massive stone pillar.
Okay, it's massive, is it?
Yeah, it's huge. Like Nelson's column. To girth you.
It's good. How did you sexualize a statue?
Columns are all about sexuality.
Oh, okay.
Of course they are. It's a giant phallic shape. To look at his Nelson, look at his massive dick and balls. 4 of his balls are lions. You got 4 balls, they're all lions. I mean, what more do you want? And he's got a fucking 100-foot cock with himself on top of it. What more do you want as a statue, mate? I mean, come on.
What was your other question then?
All right. So you get to the afterlife. Let's say there is one. Okay. And let's say that I've died an old person whose mind was wandering and my bladder was failing. Right?
That's already happening now. Your mind wanders all the time. We have the same conversation like 3 times a week.
It's new to me. So let's say I die.
Yeah.
Right now, am I an old man whose bladder's dribbling away?
Yeah.
Who can't remember where the fuck he is and keeps calling out that little Tim is stealing his money? Right? Or am I this 23-year-old buff, full head of hair individual?
Were you ever that?
Yeah. You know, with all my experience and knowledge. Am I back in my peak body?
I don't think you'd have a body.
Well, in heaven, I assume we have.
Why would we?
Well, you're going to be there physically, aren't you?
Yeah, but you left that behind.
Yeah, but you're not just all ethereal beings of light. You're all angels, aren't you? You've all got wings.
I like to think that if you went to heaven, that you'd just be like an energy ball soul that's probably about a bit bigger than a football.
Well, that sucks nuts. So I can't fuck.
No, and then when you get to heaven,
yeah,
someone's there to teach you how to take on and manifest any form you want.
Right.
So you could look like Brock Lesnar.
Why do I do that?
Because you love Brock Lesnar.
No,
you always go on about how he's the best wrestler ever.
No, I did not.
Yeah, you told me the other day.
Yeah, I said I watched the Royal Rumble from last year.
Yeah, and you said Brock Lesnar's the best wrestler you've ever seen.
I didn't say that. I said he's the best in a very average division.
He's your favourite wrestler.
He's not my favourite wrestler. I admire his physicality and his dedication to his training regime.
You also think he's a great actor.
Oh God, no.
Almost as good as Orlando Bloom.
I'd put Brock Lesnar above Orlando Bloom.
Do you?
Yeah.
See, that's how much you love Brock Lesnar. He won't stop talking about Brock Lesnar. He loves him that much.
You watch that Royal Rumble and watch him eliminate 13 people in a row.
Yeah.
Then we'll talk. Then we'll talk more.
Then we'll talk more.
Then we'll talk more.
Yeah.
Now, apparently, the phrase eternal life in the Bible could be a mistranslation.
Yeah.
It could mean that you just be in balance with yourself, your environment, and the people around you.
Okay.
And that brings you so eternal happiness in a way.
Oh.
So there is no, because early Jewish traditions believed there was nothing.
Yeah.
After death.
Yeah.
So maybe there was a mistranslation along the lines.
That's what Jehovah's Witnesses think. They think there's no afterlife.
And
they're just good for the sake of being good.
There you go. Because I just wanted to touch on a new thing I've heard about digital immortalization. So we're not about the cores and the stacks and living in bodies.
Yeah.
Is that your brain is they map your brain, or they map everything you've ever said,
Yeah.
which can be inputted into an AI.
Yeah.
So let's say, like, for example, Churchill. Okay.
Yeah.
They write down every single one of Churchill's written remarks. They type them into a computer, basically create an AI of Winston Churchill. So when you go to the library, you take out the book on Churchill and you open it, and it's literally Churchill telling you about his life.
Yeah.
You could
so
ask it any question.
it's not like you've hooked him up to a computer and uploaded him to it. Like,
no,
like
but you
they
could
do
recreate that
Yeah.
through everything, through your digital map.
Yeah.
You know, and in the past, because everything you've ever said has been written down, they can put that in. They can work out your personality. The AI algorithm could work it all out. What that person would be like, how it would react to certain questions.
Yeah.
If it had lost its temper or not. You could literally have a chat with what the AI algorithm's best representation of that historical figure is.
Yeah. So it's
Now,
not
that's
you,
mental immortality.
so it's not you in any way. It's not even like a clone of you, like the stacks from Altered Carbon.
No.
It's like a copy, isn't it? Like an identical
a
copy.
best approximation.
But it's just like it's basically an amalgamation of everything that the world knows of you
Yeah.
into some sort of AI system. Yeah, well, I mean, you're not immortal then, are you? But you'll be known for as long as humans are around.
But are you immortal? Because your consciousness,
Well,
or what they think your consciousness would be like,
Well, you've been immortal.
is in the system. So
Yeah.
you are. Your name is remembered. Your personality is recorded.
Yeah.
So you kind of are immortal.
Well, you've been immortalized throughout history. I mean, some people are already immortalized throughout history, usually the bad guys. But, I mean, everyone still talks about them. Everyone knows a lot about them. I mean, they do biographies about
True,
them.
but maybe true immortality isn't stuff like that. Maybe it's someone's handwritten account of something that happened that survives, and not the main data banks in the, in the apocalypse.
True. But
know,
I don't think if you just basically make any
then you have a whole new historical. I mean, all right, sorry, I cut you off again.
No, it's fine.
Like King Arthur, right?
Yeah.
So King Arthur. No one really knows whether he existed.
Yeah.
You've got the earliest historical text that names him specifically is 500 years later.
Yeah.
You've got the next one, which is about 700 years after the incidents, and he seems to store most information off the guy from 200 years before.
Yeah.
That's my best example of like
maybe
non-famous people making history.
Yeah, maybe it's just a guy who just like keeps passing down his name to his kids. And
yeah.
Like 200 years later, another kid did something of note.
Maybe
it's written down again.
Maybe it was Artorius and it was Latin, and he was.
Well, that's the thing, though, isn't it? With history, is it's written down, so it's like it's someone's interpretation of what happened. So history books are never 100% accurate, are they?
No, they're written by the winner.
Yeah, well, yeah, they're written by the winner, or they're also written by people that were either there and saw their own account of it, or weren't there and just tried to piece together what happened.
And that's the form of afterlife, though, isn't it? Is your name living on? I mean, I know who Julius Caesar is.
Yeah.
The guy died, oh God, I don't even know when Caesar died. Early ADs.
Yeah, I think so.
You know, we know who Jesus was. He died in 4 BC. Yes, 4 years before himself.
Alexander the Great.
Alexander the Great. Leonidas. The pharaohs, we know who these people are
because they've been immortalized in history,
and
for as long as humans are around.
And whether or not there's an afterlife, they're immortalized.
Yeah.
That's as
close as you can get to being immortal, isn't it? Really, as far as we know, anyway.
Caesar. I mean, I don't know if Brutus ever did stab Caesar.
Yeah.
But the whole the Shakespeare play, Et tu Brute, you too Brutus.
Yeah.
And he knives him in the back.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's become common language, amongst people who've got any.
It doesn't mean it's true.
Doesn't mean it's true.
No.
So
you could say that about. Well, I mean,
look, Reign of Fire, Reign of Fire, the best dragon movie going.
Yeah.
I think everyone agrees with that.
Yeah, probably.
One of the best dragon movies out there.
Quite like Dragonheart.
All right, bit of a different movie though. Anyway,
there's a dragon in it.
Anyway,
they share a heart.
Christian Bale's character,
a cheerful ending.
Christian Bale's character is basically retelling the kids Star Wars to entertain them.
Yeah,
because he watched those movies as a kid, but obviously he can't remember them fully, so he's improv bits in.
Mm-hmm.
That's no Star Wars.
Yeah,
that's his own immortality. Oh, I don't know, whatever his character's name is in that movie. Christian
Yeah.
Bale's character, he wrote Star Wars.
Yeah.
Even like in 20, 30 years, 50 years' time, when human civilization comes back a bit
Yeah.
and they start making films again, one of them kids might make Star Wars attributed to him.
Yeah.
And no one's alive to know George Lucas made it.
Yeah.
That's immortality. That
Yeah.
is an afterlife.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing, isn't it? Is we literally, like you said, the winners write the history books, or the people that are around write the history books, and then we're like living in a time now where we think things are set in stone and they happen the way they happen. I mean, we had this conversation the other day. We were only joking about it, not seriously, obviously, so we don't mean to offend anyone. But Abraham Lincoln, we said, what happens if it was just all of what happened was just a way for him to basically seize power, stay in power, and also get more men to fight his cause? Because if you say, oh well, we'll free the slaves, fight for your freedom, you're getting a ton of new men, aren't you?
And Glory, weirdly, has come on Netflix now.
Yeah.
The film I was telling you about to watch.
Yeah. So it's like,
how weird is that?
We think he's a good guy, Honest Abe. I mean, for me, he sounds like the kind of ideal man. He stands for what he believes.
Does he now?
Yeah.
Would you marry him?
He stands for...
He's the ideal man.
No,
I need a hero.
He was an honourable man. He was proud.
Holding up for a hero till the end of the night.
Keep
on doing your thing and I'll do that underneath.
He's honourable. I can't take you seriously. Pulling the proud. He stood up for what he believed in. He freed the slaves. That's it, pretty much.
He's gotta be fresh for the fight.
You need a hero.
I need a hero.
Yeah, but yeah, he was all those things and more.
Would you like to be his bodyguard in his log cabin with him?
I would have. Yeah, you think he was gay, don't you?
A lot of people do.
Yeah. No, I don't think he was. But oh, there's my train of thought now because
of your homoerotic thoughts, mate. I'm Lincoln.
No, because of singing. All your singing. Yeah, but we just remember him for basically the man that was written in the books, the history books.
Yeah, he could have been a complete twat. We don't know.
Well, they call him Honest Abe because he said he couldn't tell a lie. But how do we know he never lied?
Wasn't that George Washington?
Huh?
Didn't he say that too?
No, I think it was Abe. So
I thought it was George Washington that said, "I cannot tell a lie."
I think that was Abe. That's why they call him Honest Abe.
I don't know. I think I was. I'm sure listeners can tell us.
Yeah.
I'm certain George Washington said, "I can't tell a lie."
Probably, but they called him Honest Abe, so I'm guessing he didn't really lie.
It's because of his hat.
Yeah.
A man in that kind of hat cannot lie to you.
So yeah, but it is literally that's how we read it. He was this guy who wanted to help save all of these people being treated awfully and set them free. Yeah, that's how we know it.
So he achieves immortality and his afterlife like that.
But for all we know, it was just a way to basically get a bunch of people to fight tooth and nail to get their freedom. So I mean, nobody's going to fight harder than someone wants freedom.
Freedom!
So make out like you're a man of the people, you're the hero, and you get a bunch more people fighting for your cause.
Boom.
So, I mean, I don't think that, but I mean, that proves like how history can be like construed if you want it to, because whoever wins writes the history books. Like another example for that is World War II with Churchill.
Yeah.
Where everyone thinks even now he's he probably was the guy that won the war. But he certainly helped.
Certainly his oratory helped.
Yeah.
It's just stiffer than a national resolve, the national spirit.
Yeah,
and that's morale was as important as anything in warfare, isn't it?
He was a tough kind of leader we needed at the time. He was good at rallying the troops, we'll say. But he was.
Jeremy Corbyn would have been no good in that situation, would he?
But there's a lot of history now that we look at that said he was quite hateful.
Oh God, he was a terrible man.
Nasty
man. He caused a massive famine. He put down the Irish. He sent in the black and tans into the streets of Ireland. He made some very.
There was a lot of Indian immigrants during that time, and he hated them, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a very hateful man, but he was the right man at the right time.
Yeah. Like you said, Jeremy Corbyn wouldn't have been able to do it.
Well, no, Corbyn. As much as I like Jeremy, he's certainly not a wartime prime minister, is he?
No.
We
both voted for him. I mean, you quite liked him.
I did. I didn't agree with everything he said, but I thought he was the best.
I just really don't like Boris. Yeah, I don't understand why people say, "Oh, Trump and Boris are like the same dude." It's like, no, when Trump says something, whether you like it or not, he usually gets it done. Boris changes his mind every 5 fucking
Oh,
seconds.
I'm not going to feed kids. No, I am going to feed kids.
No, I'm not again. Yes, I am again. No.
Mm.
He's like, literally, he's like, we're never locking down again. It's not working. Actually, we're locking it down again.
Yeah.
It's like, make up your mind.
So, after all of this, I don't care if there's an afterlife.
You just want to be immortalized in marble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my afterlife. Whether or not there's an afterlife and I get to run free with all my dogs.
Yeah. That means you got to do something notable to be remembered for.
No. I'm a counsellor now. Who knows where it'll end?
Where do you want it to end?
Dictator.
Dictator.
I mean, I'm Prime Minister.
Ruthless dictator.
Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Of course, Prime Minister. Yeah.
To work real hard then, man.
Well, who knows? Maybe
Yeah.
I'll get by on charisma and charm like I do on my podcasts.
They only watch it for me, really. Listen.
Well, they don't listen to it. They don't watch you at all.
They don't listen, apparently.
No, they listen to it for me. I've got a sensual, sexy voice.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. They're like, God, that guy, he just rambles and rambles.
Yeah, but he's funny with it.
So, yeah, that's kind of your
Yeah,
thoughts.
I think I'm
on
going
it.
for that.
Yeah.
But I do also like the digital afterlife in a book.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Ben Carter. I want to tell you about my life.
Yeah, but you won't be around for that.
Yeah, I know, but it's my brain in a book, innit?
No, it's just that it's just basically me. So if I'm the scientist making the sort of book, or the programmer will say, I'm just programming it to kind of replicate you, but it's not you.
But it's still.
It'll look like you and it'll sound like you.
It's not me being in a conscious afterlife, but
Yeah.
it's still my personality to a point.
Well, what we know of you.
Yeah. But it's still...
nobody knows your deepest thoughts and.
Oh no, it's gonna be a bland personality.
Yeah, it'll basically just have like one-liners and dick jokes. That's
yeah,
about
it is.
it.
But I'll answer how they think I would best answer, wouldn't I? So instead of one-liners and dick jokes, it'd be really deep.
No.
So I just go, I like big butts. I cannot lie.
That'll be it, pretty
Yeah.
much. They're like, wow, this guy didn't really have much depth.
Big butts are great.
Yeah. So that's your ideal afterlife, then.
I think, because I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I'd love the whole spiritual thing. I'd love that I get, or maybe even reincarnation. I meant to talk about reincarnation.
Would you like to be a ghost?
Depends how much sentience I've got.
Full on. You just don't have a body.
Then yeah,
Yeah.
bring it on. I'll go for
You
that.
can literally travel the world as a ghost.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. I'll go
Yeah.
for that.
Ghost adventures.
Ghost Adventures with Ben Carter.
Yeah.
Just, filming it on Instagram for other ghosts.
Yeah.
There's probably a ghost Instagram.
Ghost
A
Instagram.
ghost influencer.
Yeah, we just gotta wait for like all the ghosts, like Elon Musk to die and
Yeah, it'd be
and
fun.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
just start making these apps and stuff and making us like iPhones and stuff.
Ghost phone.
Who's the guy who created the iPhone?
Oh shit,
Well,
Steve Jobs.
Yeah, well, he was one of them, wasn't he? Yeah.
Well, he's the guy that took all the credit.
Oh no, he's the only tech one that's in the afterlife. All the dead people have iPhones.
Oh, fantastic!
They suck.
They don't. Oh, I can't wait for you to get to heaven and get an iPhone.
They'll be like, "Welcome to heaven. Here's your complimentary iPhone."
No. Oh,
I'll
down the
pass.
hell you go.
I'll pass, thank you. I'll keep walking. I'll wait for the next one.
Sorry. This is heaven now.
Heaven. No.
Down you go. Android user.
Go to hell. Another reason to go to hell.
Reincarnation is another option, isn't it? We've looked at the Western side of things, the
Yeah.
whole afterlife.
Yeah.
Reincarnation is a Buddhist thing,
Yeah.
Hindu thing as well.
Just kick Chloe in the face.
Oh man, poor Chloe.
She was
She'll probably
asleep.
kick me.
She was asleep under the table. I didn't even realise.
She'll probably kick me in the nuts. She'll make up a feel for her displeasure.
She's just confused. She looked at me like, "Whoa, what just hit me?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't know, Chloe. Are you okay?" I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I mean, Ben didn't mean to.
What? Don't believe him, Chloe. He's talking crap.
Yeah, reincarnation. It sounds like a good idea, doesn't it? I mean, which one is it though? Like, if you're good, you get put into a better sort of, so like you start off as a slug, and if you're a good slug you go up, or you start off in a human, and if you're bad you go down to
Well,
slug,
that's it,
or
innit?
whatever.
Where did you get randomly
Or is
put
it,
in?
yeah, or is it just random? Is it just like, oh yeah,
Hey, we'll give you a human to start with.
Yeah.
We'll say you do with. You got some promise,
yeah,
so we'll give you human to start with.
yeah,
And then if you don't do any better than that, oh, actually, you're a bit disappointed in your last incarnation. You're a bit of a twat. So, down to dung beetle you go.
yeah? It's like, oh wow, I'm a freaking eagle. This is awesome. And then I fucking get crushed by a truck, and then I
Then you just go into the engines of a plane.
yeah, and then I wake. So I'm like, oh wow, this is great. I get to fly around. I get to see these awesome sights, and all of a sudden I wake up and I'm a freaking caterpillar. And I'm like, oh, so I just see leaves for the rest of my
And then
life.
you're eaten by a bird.
Yeah, by
If
an
you look-
eagle.
By an eagle, ironically.
No, getting eaten by my wife.
Yeah, if you're lucky,
Ah!
you get to like get put in a cocoon and emerge as a butterfly and die a bit later.
Yeah. So it sounds good, doesn't it? Until you're like, well, most of the animals in the animal kingdom, their kind of lives suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And nature's cruel.
Yeah.
Nature's really fucking cruel.
It is.
You know, none of this quick. We watch war movies and go, oh, that's not a nice way to go. You know what else isn't a nice way to go? Being eaten by a pack of wolves while you're still alive.
Being eaten by a snake and then slowly digested
Yeah.
over the course of days.
Yeah.
Being a
Those are-
scared
those are-
little mouse, like,
those
am I
are-
going to die in here?
Those are worse ways to go.
Yeah. Maybe the reincarnation, though. I think the best sort of reincarnation is if you're a good person and you die, you get reincarnated as a human, but that has a better start in life. Maybe.
Yeah.
If you're bad, maybe you have a shitter start in life. Maybe.
Yeah, but then what
That's
is it?
not a bad way
No.
of looking at it. It's like if you're good, your next sort of life will be human again.
But then
It's always human.
But no one's telling you that shit, though, are they? You don't go,
No.
hey, level 2.
Because it's arrogant if you think about it, for us to think that humans are the sort of best sort of
That's it.
scenario.
I wouldn't mind being a dolphin.
You might have a bird flying around going, man, I hope if reincarnation exists, I don't get made into one of those things. Look at them, they got to go to work all day. I can fly around just doing what I want all day.
That's it, innit?
Yeah.
Humping other birds.
Yeah.
You know, eating worms. Early bird gets. You'd love that. Early bird gets a worm.
Yeah.
It's your motto.
Yeah.
You know, you'd love that shit. I'd be like a pigeon. I just eat everyone else's scraps and steal Greg sausage rolls at their hands.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah.
Just shitting on people you don't like.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what I'd do.
So maybe it's just, we just keep getting reincarnated into new humans. We just,
Maybe.
our souls will just keep going on
But
and
do
on
we
for the
keep
next...
that knowledge? Do we keep a sliver of who we were?
Well, maybe, yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like,
Sometimes you meet quite young people that seem quite wise, and then sometimes you meet like really old people, like 70, that seem a little bit like they haven't learned anything.
this is probably my first incarnation, you know. 'Cause
You
I'm
reckon?
a bit of a fucking dumbass.
You're like, I make a lot of mistakes.
yeah. I'm like Bender when he got made into a human on Futurama. And he's like, yeah, let's party and drink and eat. Yeah. And then I die of a massive heart attack because I'm like 50 stone.
So you think this would be your first
I
incarnation?
think this might be.
Which one am I on?
I've no idea.
Like 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the one that's like, hey, I'm not gonna spend any money. I'm gonna.
I do act like an old man, don't I?
Yeah.
So maybe it's like 10. All of them old grumpy men.
Yeah,
I just grow into it over time.
Oh, so what about near-death experiences then? You know, you're on the operating table, you're flatline. Next thing you know, you're floating above yourself, looking down.
Yeah.
Where'd you stand on them?
Could be hallucinations from all the drugs you're on.
Could be. I mean, there's people who try to prove this kind of stuff, and
Yeah, there's
no one's ever wrote a message on the table
yeah.
in the room and said okay, and then like or got a nurse to write something random on the message pad.
It's funny
And
you
if
should
you
say
die,
that actually.
They'll be like, oh, what's it say? Oh,
It's
you're
funny-
a cunt.
It's funny you should say that actually. I read an article a couple of years ago that said apparently that they hung paintings on like they had the hospital wall, and then they had like a bit of the roof that kind of went into a bit of like a skylight.
Yeah,
And they hung paintings because you couldn't see them unless you were above.
yeah,
And then they would do the operating, and then if someone would have like a near-death experience, they'd ask them to try and describe if they saw a painting and describe what they'd see.
yeah.
They'd change the painting out every couple of weeks or months. So, and then some people would describe what the actual painting looked like, and that was a kind of way of trying to prove it. But I was just like, you could fudge that, couldn't you?
Yeah.
If you wanted to push an agenda, you could be like, yeah, this is what the painting looked like. Just tell everyone this is what it looked like,
Mm.
and you could be famous then because you could say you had a near-death experience and
Yeah.
you remembered what the first. So the problem with those sort of tests and those sort of studies is you can fudge the numbers, can't you?
Of course
You can, that's like I've say that a lot with the whole COVID thing, don't I? You can fudge the numbers. It just basically means you can change it to suit your needs, can't you? And that would be an interesting study. And if it's true, that's interesting. But I'm skeptical because I mean, do those doctors believe in an afterlife? Do they not believe in an afterlife? Do they want the patients to get it right? I mean,
well, apparently there's a lot of haunted hospitals around.
yeah,
A lot of nurses, doctors report ghostly goings on in
yeah.
certain hospitals. One we'll look at in the future, maybe.
Ghost hospital.
Ghost hospital.
God,
Oh
we're
no,
always-
he's
we're always-
spectrally bleeding.
We're always making awesome TV show ideas. It's like Scrubs, but they're ghosts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And instead of trying to save the
You're a
patients,
terrible ghost doctor.
instead of trying to save the patients, they try and kill them.
Yeah.
So like, there's a doctor there, and he's like, "Scalpel, please," and then the ghost is trying to knock the scalpel out of his hand so it falls. Oh no, it fell on the patient's throat. It's bleeding out. You're grossly incompetent. It's not me. It's the ghost doctor.
Oh, so it's Scrubs, but there's a ghost doctor. I was thinking a hospital full of ghosts
No,
attending to other ghosts, like ghost doctors.
they are ghost doctors.
Yeah.
But they think they're ghost doctors anyway. But they actually see like the actual surgeons doing the work.
Oh, so they're looking over the shows, thinking they're doing this stuff and
No.
knocking scalpels out
No,
of hands.
they do like shenanigans to try and make sure that people die, so they have more ghost friends.
Oh, that's dark.
Yeah, but it's a comedy, like Scrubs.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't see that's going to work. Let's kill that dude so he can be our friend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a comedy about
Okay.
ghosts.
You write it. I'll put it out there.
Hey, if it works for Casper,
You know, don't get me started on that rich fuck. Goes to Richie Rich, innit, Casper?
is it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
gotta
I
be.
heard the theory of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
twat. Put it run over or kidnapped. Pretty kidnapped. It was the 30s.
Yeah.
Heirs are getting kidnapped all the time, weren't they?
I
The
like-
Lindbergh baby and all
I like Casper.
that. Fucking.
I grew up watching them.
I had Transformers and Optimus
I had
Prime.
Transformers as well.
Yeah, but I had Generation 1 Transformers. Optimus Prime. There's a man
Yeah,
for
but
the afterlife. Optimus Prime
what happened-
living on through the matrix of
What happened to
leadership.
all them?
They all died.
You were like, oh yeah, I had them. They were badass. They were better than the other Transformers. What happened to my
Yeah,
Transformers?
they brought them
What
back.
happened to yours?
They brought them back anyway. Prime lived on to the matrix of leadership.
Yeah, but mine didn't die.
I bet they did.
Yeah, but they
I
didn't.
bet they did.
Some of them, but
Yeah,
most,
I bet they did.
most of them
I
didn't.
bet well, most of the
Because
generation.
they realised it made more money to just turn
But
them
was
into...
yours fueled by 80s rock?
They realised it would be less traumatizing. And if you just basically turn them into a different Transformer,
Yes.
they got a new code name,
Yes,
a new paint job, slightly different
yes.
materials. and
Yes, you
everything.
had Beast Wars. Oh, that's looked awful.
Yeah, I never watched Beast Wars.
Yeah, that sucked.
It looked terrible. It's like a really primitive CGI, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that ties us back in with reincarnation. Don't reincarnate shows.
I don't know. That new Transformers looks good. You watched it.
I've watched it all. It's all right.
Yeah. So
but
reincarnate,
I
but
think
do it
that, I think
properly.
the computer CG is a little clunky at times.
Yeah, I haven't watched it all. I watched like 2
Um,
episodes with you.
It's okay.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
Storyline's good.
Yeah.
Then the animation lacks a little bit
It's old,
at times.
old school storyline, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I'll
But,
watch it at some point.
Reincarnation ended with shows.
Yeah,
I think that's
because we're
it.
that good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just our own thoughts now, and I guess. What's your ideal afterlife?
When we're going to do the fuck I want.
So
basically.
pretty much what you do now other than work.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
So just everything you do now minus work.
yeah, yeah.
You're like, yeah, that sounds good to
And
me.
you know, I got all my dogs there that
Yeah.
passed on, and
All of them.
all of them.
Yeah,
of
that'd be
course.
cool. But they get on.
I hope so.
You're like,
They would do, of course. They would. It's heaven. They don't talk as well.
what kind of voices do they have?
Oh, Blue was a redneck.
Yeah.
I always thought Blue was
He's
a
a
redneck.
hillbilly.
Yeah.
Did you ever do like a voice for him?
Oh yeah.
Go on.
Oh, I don't know. I've done it for years.
Go on, do it.
Like, go. That was Blue. He was always like.
So it was a
"Go."
bit of a dopey
Hey,
hillbilly.
Blue. We go,
Sound a little bit like Goofy.
yeah. Max is more like a. Ooh.
Why are they all dopey?
Because the Rotties are dopey. If it wasn't Rotties.
Yeah.
And Rosie was definitely she was more of a mini, like, hey, what's going on? Yeah. Yeah, she was quite excitable.
They all sound like the Disney characters.
Yeah.
Did
so I'm
Disney
ju-
get to you?
It did.
Yeah.
I'm just whining. I'm trying to get you fueled again.
Yeah. The mouse got to you, didn't he?
He
How much did he pay you?
More than you.
I'm gonna flip the table. How much did he pay you?
You know, you flipped your table, right? That's like my table.
Just start throwing beer cans at you. How much did he pay?
It's a good job they're empty.
He said he'd bring Mandalorian release date forward.
Yeah, it's gonna now go come up before the Book of Boba Fett, which is out next fucking year.
I know.
We'll get Scrubs, so it's alright.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, so yours is just basically pretty much now, no work, just chilling out, hanging out.
Chilling out, hanging out with mates. All my pets have died. You know,
Yeah.
everything's on demand as I want it.
Yeah. You don't want much.
Wow. That's heaven, isn't it? It's meant to be.
Do you not want like loads of really beautiful, attractive women as well?
Well, that'd be nice too. But it's all on demand, isn't it? I just go, oh man, I wouldn't mind
You're gonna name like a celebrity from like 30 years ago, and I'm not gonna know who she is. You do that a lot. I'm like, who's that?
No, I don't know. It's just, you think, I wouldn't mind some Instagram influencer model type bird turning up now, and boom, there she is.
There she is.
Yeah, knocks the door.
And she's like, what am I doing here? I was
she's
alive
like, hey.
2 minutes ago.
No, it's just a representation of them, obviously,
okay.
but it's real to me because
Yeah.
that's my reality.
Yeah.
And your reality is governed by what you can see, hear, taste, touch, and put yourself
So your
in.
heaven's like the sort of supernatural heaven. Have you seen the TV show Supernatural? They put everyone in their own kind of little mini imagination heaven.
Yeah.
It's like the perfect version of their own lives with like little extras that they like.
Yeah, something like that. I
Yeah.
don't know if it'll work for me.
And then like you live your life, and then I guess they just reset you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I go for that. I'd start out about 18 and sort of peak physical condition.
And just stay there for a bit.
Stay there for a bit, and then I've got a certain amount of intelligence, maybe not memories of past lives, but a certain amount of intelligence. My soul just sort of loops over again. Yeah, maybe something like that.
See,
Or if things are going shit, it resets itself.
Yeah. See, I don't think there is an afterlife, but
Also the Matrix.
Huh?
In a way, that the Matrix, it goes shit,
Yeah.
it just resets itself.
Yeah. That goes into the whole simulation theory, that is, which we should do a podcast on at some point. Is basically, I know you don't want to do it.
Terrifies me.
You're like, I don't want to be an AI.
Terrifies me.
Even Elon Musk thinks it's highly probable.
Yeah, well, fuck Elon Musk. Fuck him and his rockets that keep exploding.
Yeah, they do. They're all part of the plan.
No,
though.
it's all part,
It's
of, the
all
plan.
part of the plan.
Fuck Elon Musk.
But yeah,
How dare you invoke his name on this hallowed turf?
it's weird though, isn't it? How there's like so much similarities between us and computers. It's like genetic code, and this is like whenever you talk.
Yeah, we're just calling it a code, though, aren't we?
Well, no, see, they're starting to think now that eventually we'll be able to download our brains onto, once we've technologically advanced enough, download our brains onto a sort of computer system, because our brains are so simple to coding.
Oh, for God's sake.
Which would then lean even more into the simulation theory that we are basically just
Oh, God.
some highly advanced alien species has just coded us, just basically, I don't know, we're like a game of Sims.
Oh, God.
Or we're just some sort of interactive game.
Oh, God.
Like Ready Player One. You ever watch that movie?
Man,
It's not great.
Oh, it sounds
Maybe
terrible.
some of us are just AI, and then the rest of it, well, some of us are like avatars.
It sounds terrible.
Some of us are non-playable characters, and then some of us,
NPCs.
yeah,
and,
some of us are NPCs, and then some of us can actually interact, like the heroes can join in and play in the game.
Sounds awful.
Yeah. We're just NPCs, probably.
Yeah.
You definitely are just an NPC.
How am I an NPC? I'm a local councillor.
You have limited coding.
I am a local politician.
I can predict pretty much the days you're going to have beer.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because there's podcasts on.
Yeah.
Right, when else am I going to have beer this week?
On Saturday.
Well, yeah, obviously. Doesn't take a wizard to work that one out, does
Probably Friday.
it? Maybe.
Yeah, probably. Highly likely.
What if it's not beer?
Huh?
What if I buy gin?
You don't buy gin.
What if I,
I've never seen you buy gin.
what if I buy Southern Comfort?
Yeah, I doubt it. You always go with the intention of getting spirits and come back with beer.
Yeah, I do like beer.
when it comes to beer, you're fairly predictable.
Yeah. But I have moved up in class now.
Oh yeah, you started drinking Budweiser. You
Yeah.
finally listened to me. It is the superior beer.
It was actually just the same price as Carling. It
So-
was like 10 Budweiser, which is stronger,
Yeah, it is.
for the same price as 10 Carling. I was like, oh,
It is a good beer.
I'd drink the Budweiser, thank you.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway,
You don't get as bad off of it as well. It doesn't give as bad a hangover.
That's true.
I've noticed.
anyway, I think that's the end of the show.
Yeah. Oh wait.
Unless you got sorry, you haven't asked about your perfect heaven.
Well, it's not my perfect heaven. I just think this is what it is. I think we're just on an an indefinite time loop.
Right.
So there's no afterlife. It's just when we die, we just reset. We just keep going around in a circle. I think that's all it is.
Ouroboros.
Yeah.
Rob or Ross. Red Dwarf joke.
Yeah. I think you've told me that before.
Yeah, they leave the baby Lister in a box and it says Ouroboros.
Yeah.
But these scousers go, Rob or Ross.
Yeah.
And they call him Dave anyway.
But yeah, I think we're just on an indefinite time loop. We
That
just go
wouldn't
around in
surprise me.
circles. So once we die, we just we don't reincarnate. We just start from the beginning again. That's why we can't comprehend death, because time isn't a line. It's a circle. So we just keep going around in circles over and over again.
Deep.
And maybe sometimes it changes slightly. Like you might do, you know what? When
Someone breaks the wheel.
yeah, this is why you feel like sometimes you've been there before. You know,
Oh, a bit of deja vu.
a bit of deja vu. It's because you have been there like billions of times before. It's just slightly different, and it'll just continue to the end of the universe.
Well, of course, because I always find that if I have a bit of deja vu, the end often changes.
Yeah, yeah. So it just changes slightly,
Yeah,
ever so slightly.
yeah, that's it. And little conversations taken off down another little
Yeah,
fork.
because I don't think I really don't think there's a God. Maybe there is, but I don't think there is. But I just think that the universe has I'm going to say coding to piss you off. It has an intricate coding that we just follow, and sometimes we can kind of step out of line a little bit, but then we go back to. So it's already predetermined. It'll keep happening over and over and over again. Like if you die by being hit by a car, most of the time, if not all the time, you'll get hit by that car. It's just how you get hit by that car might be slightly different. As
I might break a hip, I might break an arm, I might die, I might walk away unscathed.
Yeah, things might be slightly different, but they're going to be pretty much the same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can kind of get with that.
Yeah.
And there's only a certain amount of possibilities.
Yeah. We think
Well, is that immortality?
No, it's not immortality.
That's just obviously it's like the afterlife is just you reliving the same shit.
Yeah.
Groundhog Day style, but it all changes a little bit, but you've got no consciousness of it.
Yeah, basically. That's what I think it is. I think that human beings need to think there's an end to everything, because everything we've ever created has an end.
So we are addicted to a life-death
ending.
cycle.
Yeah, so we've convinced ourselves that's what there is. But
That's it.
I think it was Einstein said it. One of his friends died or something, and he consoled the wife by saying, "Don't worry, because in somewhere in time he still exists."
Yeah, his thing was like, I'm here and he's over there, and there's like several hills
and
in front of us.
Yeah,
So we
that's
can't
it.
see each other, but eventually we'll catch up with one another.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
And that's all it is. It's kind of like for me it's kind of like I want to do like a podcast on this at some point, but there's actually a client that told me about it, and I thought it's a pretty clever idea. It's like an onion. It's got many layers, and we're all in those layers, but we're in every single layer, but we're at different stages, and everyone's got their own sort of onion, their own sort of layer. So there's infinite timelines going infinitely, just circling and circling.
What's the multiverse theory?
Yeah, but
Except,
they all
except using an onion.
Yeah, it is, but they're all based around you. There's like
Gotcha. So every single onion.
So you have like unlimited onions going all at different times.
Oh my god, so many tiers.
Yeah. But that's why we can't comprehend it. But something different happens in each one, slightly. But so this is your one onion, and you'll die, and then when you die, it'll reset, and you'll do a next layer of it, and then it'll reset, and then it'll reset, and then next to it is another onion where there is a mass. So like if say you're in one onion and you make a massive change, you like pretty much break the code, a new onion's created.
Yeah, gotcha.
And it starts going again.
I just think we can't comprehend existence without something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Human brains wired to think that way.
Yeah, but I also think we're wired to think there's an end. There has to be an end.
Actually, an end, but
like
is there
even
a rebirth?
Even now, we've already said there's a life cycle to the universe, and one day the universe will die and it will cease to exist. But there's not really any proof that it'll cease to exist.
No.
So
There isn't.
For us, yes, maybe we do stop existing indefinitely, and maybe humans stop existing indefinitely, but there's nothing saying the universe has to end.
Maybe our soul's just being stored in the warp to fight for our glorious God Emperor when he returns in 20,000 years.
Yeah, maybe. You always find a way to bring in Warhammer 40k.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But my perfect to come away from that, my perfect heaven is basically I get honorary sort of accepted into dog heaven. It's just like me and a billion dogs.
I'd go for that.
Yeah.
I'd like that.
No, it's just me. You're not allowed.
All right.
Yeah.
Couldn't there be an island or there could be another one?
No.
Yeah.
It's just me.
Well, I could have one the same.
It's not honorary. If there's like loads
but you wouldn't be aware of it.
If there's like loads of us, it's not honorary.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be aware of it.
No, just me.
You mean your own little universe?
We'll build a wall. You're not
Always
allowed.
with the wall. Always with the wall.
We'll just throw tennis balls at you over the wall. You're not allowed in. And
My dogs would love that though.
And then I'll be like, dogs, throw the tennis balls, and they'll just be there, sat chewing the tennis balls.
My dogs would love that. You're throwing tennis balls over the wall.
I'll throw one, and they'll hop over the wall after it.
I've got infinite dogs.
Yeah, you'll be like, keep throwing them.
Mine will be Rotties anyway.
Yeah. They're hopping over, keep throwing them.
Mine will be Rottweilers, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's the end of the show.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for listening. Follow us on Facebook. Look out for us on Anchor. You know where to listen to us.
Yeah, but it's always worth telling, just in case somebody's jumped on this as the first one.
That's it.
Anchor's kind of our main one. That's where we release these from, but then we upload them to SoundCloud onto the Cutting Through the Bull one.
That's it. We are associated with them.
Yeah, we've set up a Patreon, so worth checking out the Anchor one because it's like it comes out usually a little bit earlier because I edit on the Anchor one. That's how we record it.
And it's a bit rawer sometimes.
Rawer, that's a word.
Yeah.
Yeah, I edit on this one and then I release it and then later on I put it on SoundCloud. Sometimes I forget and then you get a week later.
Yeah, why not?
We've got Facebook and listen to Cutting Through the Bull as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I've been Ben. Thank you very much for listening. Don't in the Flavour Aid. Don't join a cult. And always form a shield wall.
Feels like that's getting longer.
It is.
It'll take like 2 minutes eventually. You'll be like, make sure you tie your shoelaces. Yeah. Make sure you look both ways.
Yeah. Always kill the machine, the heretic, purge the Xeno.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not an AI.
No, I'm not an AI.
I'm not an NPC.
I'm a golden god. I'm a 5-star man.